ABC News White House correspondent was there when Chief of Staff John Kelly, in a rare moment, came out and spoke to the press corps. Good morning, Karen Travers.
Good morning. And we are told that this surprise appearance by John Kelly was entirely his idea, that he insisted on personally addressing this growing and not going away controversy involving fallen U.S. service members. And senior White House sources tell us the president didn't send Kelly out there to speak to reporters, that Kelly is mad. He's mad at the media coverage. He's mad at Congresswoman Wilson, which he made very clear yesterday. But he's not mad at the president. He views this as an unfair attack on the president. And I think it was notable that in his emotional, personal conversation yesterday in the White House briefing room and his criticisms of Wilson, he didn't criticize the president or really acknowledge the president's role in teeing off this controversy on Monday with his response to that question about the ambush in Niger.
Yeah, you and I both mentioned yesterday this story is a story we can't wait to stop covering and wait for this to be pushed off the front pages. But the White House hasn't done a very good job of trying to explain it correctly so that it can get off the front page. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, right? Said that President Trump didn't say what the woman said. He said, but John Kelly said he did. This is and explained it in a much more in a way in which all of us could understand.
And they could have done that Tuesday night when this all first started. They could have done that Wednesday in the briefing room. I mean, let's just kind of lay this all out. After Congresswoman Wilson said this on Tuesday night, the president on Wednesday, when I asked him that question, said that this was completely made up, that he never said what Wilson says he said. Sarah Sanders also suggesting that at the briefing room on Wednesday afternoon. And she tried to get in a little bit more of the tone and context, but was still not disputing what the president was saying. Last night, the president even tweeted that Congresswoman Wilson, quote, gave a total lie on content. Well, we heard John Kelly yesterday. He said he personally counseled the president on how to talk to the grieving families, how to make these phone calls, and that the sentiment that was conveyed to him when his own son was killed in 2010 from his best friend, General Joe Dunford, was that Robert Kelly was doing exactly what he wanted to do when he was killed. He knew what he was getting into. He knew the possibilities because the nation's at war. And Kelly said that was the sentiment that President Trump tried to convey, but it didn't come out that way. So he's acknowledging that the substance of what Wilson is saying is correct, even though the president is still trying to say it's fabricated.
Yeah, no, it's hopefully.
And I think you're right of trying to put a spin on that, of explaining these calls are awful. They're really personal. And he was trying to say this because this is what I was told. That could have ended this all Tuesday night, Wednesday morning.
Then you can certainly understand, and we mentioned this yesterday, you can certainly see how one person says it and somebody else takes it in a different way. This is a grieving mother. You can certainly understand her not hearing what he's trying to say. So
and or maybe we haven't heard from her, or the widow, I should say. So we don't know how she took it. We know how people have characterized how she took it, that she was upset for other reasons too, of the president maybe not, or maybe mentioning her husband's name. But all of this is coming through the Congresswoman in a brief conversation with the mother as well.
I got 30 seconds, Karen Travers. When, any chance we're going to see what they plan to use for the tax code anytime soon?
The president's made his principles clear, slashing corporate tax rates, reducing the number of brackets for individual filers, families. But essentially, we're still waiting for legislation. They're chugging along, but there's still no bill yet. But they're getting there.
They're getting there. Karen Travers, ABC News White House correspondent. Thanks, Karen.